What if Juice died when trying to commit suicide in Sons of Anarchy Season 4, Episode 7? Let's talk about it, damn it. Let's talk about it indeed. You guys have voted 570 votes. And we're going to kick off in last place. And for once, it's actually a joint last place. We've had three options, and Sons of Anarchy Funeral had 24% for that, and then another 24% for Potter Goals for Plan C, in brackets, another rat. So both in last place there. Two very different outcomes, but the same score in this poll. And then 52% have went for an unmarked grave. So it's an interesting one, this, because obviously unmarked grave is more, if you were like seen as a rat, or you've done some shady shit in the club. But would that be a bit hectic to view Juice that way? Even if he did kill himself, well, it's kind of just the way the clubs go into it, if we're being honest about it. Because if we look at when Chibs tells Jax about it, Jax points out that no one's going to trust him, the club's going to vote him out. So obviously it's seen as cowardice, and that if it is seen as that, would they have gave him a big massive send off? Now here, moving forward to the end of the show, somebody does commit suicide, and it was a big deal, and Sam were like, "You go get him, Jackie boy. You go get that 18 wheeler." So yeah, maybe it's hypocritical. I think in some senses, if you sacrifice yourself, it's like Opie essentially committed suicide, but it was, he sacrificed himself for his fellow brothers, and he kind of didn't want to live at the same time. I think you can definitely get those sort of vibes for Opie Winston. So yeah, let's dive into your comments. What do I think? I think an unmarked grave would have been the option, to be honest. James Toner says, if Juice died here, Roosevelt's leverage might have been pointless and Potter would have gone to plan C. He would have likely pulled Eli off his operation, likely had his badge removed, as Potter would blame him for their informant's death. We all know Potter's an evil, ruthless bastard. Really wish he got his deserts on Mayans MC with the leverage of the secret getting exposed. Potter might be entertaining at times, but he's a character you have burning hatred for. He's the chess master. I don't know what his plan C would have been. I'll leave it to you guys to theorise. Juice would have been an unmarked grave for Sam Crow. I think they would have found that Juice was a rat. Yeah, I think they probably would have. I mean, plan C, who else would they have went for? I mean, the plan B, the board had Otto, but they needed someone to establish a current connect. Hell, they could have went down mine. Didn't necessarily need to be a son. Well, I guess actually. Well, I guess they needed a Sons of Anarchy member. There's no point establishing past, you know, problems with Sons, like illegal activities, if you can't establish the present. But then, the Mayans are in bed with the Sons at the minute with the cartel business, so hell, who knows how that would have went down. As for who it could have been at the Sons of Anarchy table, no one would really rat at the table, so I'm not too sure. Unless it was like one of the prospects, potentially. Stop the Cap says, if we're being completely honest, if Juice died right there, I feel as if Chibs would have been heartbroken with the rest of the gang finding him hanging there because our Juice wasn't here at the time. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, it broke Chibs' heart. He's like, what are you doing? You coward! It did. But as much as they would have been sad about it, it wouldn't have changed the fact that what he did was wrong in their eyes. Here, we'll have to see. Punat says, definitely an SOA funeral. Also, what Jax did to him in prison was fucked up. I understand killing him, but have him sexually assaulted? No, that was way too far. I agree with that, but it's not like when like, let's be real, right? Juice has been a rat to the club. Make no mistake about it. I'm not saying Jax couldn't have made a phone call to Tully, right? And tried to, be like, right, he's still a member of this club. I don't want you fucking him or whatever, or raping him. But realistically, with Jax, did he really like? Juice was the one doing them the favor inside. Like, they didn't owe Juice shit in that regard, and he had rat it on them. And you know what? It is sad considering like you've seen the brotherhood that they had. Like, like the guy, the previous comment said, Chibs would have been completely heartbroken. Like, it's sad how it went for that to like season 7 when Chibs tells him to kill himself again, and then also like they don't have a problem with Tully raping him. It is sad, but that's just the reality of ratting. Josh Powell says Jax was a horrible president. He gets a reply. At least he tried to get the club in a better direction. He was a bad president, but definitely not as bad as Clay. Josh Powell says, I honestly thought he was just as bad, if not worse. Definitely not worse. At least he tried to put the club in a better place. Like, yeah, like Jax did, but his ways that he tried to go and do it was, very corrupt as well, using juice and be like, right, you don't vote against me, using Tig, you don't vote against me, things like that, doing things behind the club's back. Like, he had similar traits to Clay, but overall, he tried to steer the club out of that things that Clay put in motion via the cartel. Like, realistically, could anyone else have led the club out of guns, out of the cartel business without more bloodshed? Probably not. So I think Jax does need a bit of credit for that. El Mencho says, I wish we could have seen Potter die in SOA or Mayans. Yeah, he was so much better in SOA. Like, he was ruthless and he didn't give a fuck about juice, but he wasn't like just like spitting out the same rhetoric about poems and shit like that. And same with Chucky. Two SOA characters that they fucking butchered. Like, honestly, if you think of like all the SOA characters that appeared in Mines, they almost fucking butchered all of them. Like, even Happy, even though it's the fact they killed Happy for me. I'm glad they killed him out of the three, like, OGs that they had left. But I still think I still I don't know, like, Happy got a lot of screen time in the Mines. He felt like a big player, but I just didn't want Happy to die. Anthony or Luna says, unmarked grave. They would have found him with the brick like Miles did. He would have been buried right there. No cut, no honour. He's lucky they didn't find him alive. Well, they wouldn't have, because the brick was already found. So he wouldn't have had, the brick was already dealt with. But yeah, maybe it would have got out anyway. Chris Rambo says, nah, because he was still a brother. Anthony R. Luna says, a brother that stole from the club. Juice framed Miles who's stolen brick. For that, his corpse was shot by Happy. They took his cut and they excommunicated him. Well, here, the secret might never have come out, though, that just was a rat. So, because, I mean, if he's dead, what use is it Roosevelt telling Jax that, here, by the way, this happened? It wouldn't really make much sense, to be honest, but I guess, like, later down the line when Roosevelt... But could Roosevelt have used the same leverage with Jax in season 5? I give you the red at your table. If he's dead, here, he was desperate, his wife just got killed, maybe he would have. But anyway, guys, leave your thoughts down below. That's what would have happened if just died when trying to commit suicide. But until next time, peace.